listening to a podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants with hosts Willie Dills, Chad King, and Ben Lee.
Let's go Giants! SF Giants! Let's go Giants! SF Giants! Dedicated to the greatest team in Major League Baseball history, the San Francisco Giants. This is Torture Cast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. This is the Drunk Willie Dills episode, as well as, oh my God, already. As well as
proof positive. 15 seconds.
As well
15
as
seconds.
The Ryan Vogelsong episode number 32. It is June 10th, and the Giants just got through losing to the Texas Rangers, who we beat in 2010 to win a World Series, might add. So I don't know if I feel really bad or I don't know. I guess it's kind of like, all right, guys, you guys got one against us. Anyway, I'm going to introduce my co-host, Chad King. Welcome to the show.
Hello, I am not drunk.
Are you?
Although I have had a beer.
You're not
I
drunk?
have before, as you guys know.
Okay.
But I won't do that again. It was a bad day.
Chad's had a drunk episode.
Casted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chad has had a drunk
that's
episode, but he's not drunk today. I am drunk, however. I will explain why in a few moments. But let me also introduce Ben Lee. Ben Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm one of the last not drunk outed teams in the. I was really trying to make a shutout joke there, and nothing's coming. And I'm sober too.
Drunk.
Are you stoned at least or something?
Yeah.
No.
Nothing? Right.
Although today's game was so bad that I started watching NCAA baseball instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's been one of those days, just sitting and flipping through college game after college game after college game, and kind of going like, "Why are all these guys wearing state names on the front of their shirts?" It's been a strange afternoon.
Well, today was a rough game. I mean, we might as well just spell it out. Today was a rough game. I don't know if you guys watched the whole thing. Me and Ben were at the game on Friday night, which was also a rough game.
Yeah.
It
was a very different kind of rough game.
I mean, Ben, I looked at you and I said at one point, I think Bochy's just given up this game. I think Bochy just, from the get-go, said, we're not going to try to win on Friday.
Although I think that's also before it came out that Cabrera actually was having enough hamstring trouble that he wasn't available to play, which we saw again the next 2 days.
That's true. Yeah, Cabrera's been out, and that's
at the time we thought he was just getting a rest day. Where really now it seems more like it was sort of he was day to day for a couple of days. They're thinking he'll be back for the next series, but.
The guy in front of us didn't care. The guy in front of us did not care about that at all.
The guy in front of us clearly hadn't heard any of the news.
No.
Like, I mean, we'd heard just a little bit, but
yeah. But he thought Bochy is an idiot. That's what that's basically his.
We should get him on the show.
That was his thesis statement, supported by the point
was Bochy's an idiot. And why wouldn't you play the hottest guy in the National League? He was yelling this to the girl right next to him. At 12, if you're going 1 to 10 on the decibel level, he was a 12. And he's yelling this to the girl right next to him. And
so by 12, I thought you meant that was the number of seconds in between each time that he'd yell it.
That he said it, exactly.
It started around the 6th inning, and it just kind of kept going all the way through the end.
So at what point did you have to actually clarify why Milky wasn't in, or did you just enjoy the whole
we just kind of ignored the guy. But here's the thing. Let me just give you a demonstration of what this sounded like, all right? Here we go. This is what it sounded like. He's the hottest player in the National League, Bochy. Come on. That's what it sounded like.
Why wouldn't you play the best 3 and 4 hitters in the National League? Where's Cabrera?
Yeah, Cabrera's out.
Posey?
Posey's out, and me and Ben had to endure this for 6 innings, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome. You're sitting there going, "Hey, who's on the mound? Hey, it's Zito. Hey, when are Posey's off days?" Hey, when Zito
Posey
pitches,
does not play on a Zito day, so we know this. But this guy does not know this. So this guy, I'm gonna give him a slide on this one. I'm gonna let him
That's
go.
all right.
Yeah,
fair weather fan.
Yeah, fair weather fan. There you go. Thank you very very much, Chad. By the way, I should post that fair weather fan segment that I did onto our Torturecast feed, so everyone can hear that because. Chad gave me some really good stuff, and we got a lot of good stuff, and that actually turned out to be a pretty decent piece. So I'll post that on the Torchcast feed. But yeah, it was a rough game. Me and Ben went to the game on Friday, and it was a rough game. And thankfully Saturday we actually pulled out a win. And overall we lost today, and today was also another rough day. So this is the first 2 times through the entire year that the Giants have been shut out. So let's just say right now that is a step up from last year. If we made it to June 10th before we got shut out twice, that is a step up. Right?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, the Dodgers got hit by a horrible Seattle team.
By
got hit by
players.
6 pitchers from the Seattle Mariners.
So, I mean, 2 shutouts.
And the first one was Kevin Millwood.
Yes.
I mean, the guy has his moments, but Kevin Millwood. I mean, I would say, though, I was actually really surprised to find that out. I was sitting there looking at this team and how some of the stretches we went through early on and went, it's impossible to me that we actually have not been shut out until now. Like, for the most part, we've been doing pretty well, but I had some moments where I was just like, no, we must have been shut out at some point.
Yeah, but Ben,
we just
that's what I'm saying is that to me, it didn't feel like we hadn't been shut out at this point. We've had plenty of games where we've only scored 1 or whatever. But to say that we haven't been shut out as a team until June 8th is the first day we were shut out as a team.
That's pretty surprising.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not so bad.
No.
And today we avoided we almost avoided a shutout by the thinnest of margins. It took a pretty amazing double play by the Rangers.
That's true. Yeah, no,
by Crawford who hit it up the middle. So.
Yeah, Crawford. And you know what's funny about that? Okay, let me explain why this is the Willie is drunk episode. So we went to the game on Friday. Me and Ben watched the game. We went out after a little bit, and Ben, me and you, we didn't get too drunk or anything. We just went out and had a good time. Saturday, I sat in my house and watched the entire game from my bed. I just sat there and I watched the game. And it was fantastic. It was a beautiful game.
What's funny is that's not depressing when we win. When we lose, you're sitting there going, "Why am I watching baseball by myself?"
I mean,
in
the
my
thing
bed?
is, it was fantastic to sit there.
The Giants were doing a lot to try and save your self-esteem.
Yeah, I mean, it was great.
It's very nice of them.
I didn't want to do anything else but sit there and watch that game. That game was amazing. And then, of course, the next day I'm thinking, okay, so now we haven't lost a series in maybe 10 series now? We've won 10 series.
We won
in a row.
or tied 9 consecutive series until this one.
And Lincecum is pitching tomorrow. And that's what I'm thinking on Saturday night. And I'm thinking, okay, well, Lincecum hasn't won in 6 games. We've been 0-6 in his last 6 starts. But I still feel like that sounds good to me as a Giants fan when Lincecum is pitching the rubber match of a game or of a series. So I'm thinking that's great, and I'm looking forward to that. And then Sunday rolls around, and it is like 85 degrees outside. So
yeah,
I must enjoy this day. I cannot sit in my room again and watch this game. I must enjoy this day. So we go out to the Panhandle with a 6-pack and start listening to the game. And I'm listening to the game, and this is why I bring this up, because you talk about that Crawford double play as being a big play in this game. I missed that completely. This is the problem with listening to the game on the radio. I love listening to the game on the radio, but I hear that we have runners on first and third and 1 out, and then they go, Crawford coming up, and I go, oh boy, okay, this is not the guy I want. Not the guy I want to come up right now. But okay, Crawford's been, he's been somewhat okay.
Been better
it's not
lately.
been horrible, but I'm like, just don't hit into a double play, right? And then I don't pay attention for just a second, and then all of a sudden I just hear commercials. And I go, crap. Crawford got into a double play, obviously.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, but I didn't get to see actually what happened, and it took me until watching the video later where it was just like, damn it, like this was. But the Rangers played fantastic defense on Sunday.
They really did.
And the Rangers, by the way, played pretty fantastically all weekend, I would say. Even when Vogelsong was shutting them down, there was not really like a period of like really bad Rangerism.
No, and the Rangers looked like the best team in the American League, which they kind of are right now. And it's hard to say that we deserve to beat them in a series. They're a fantastic team right now, and not only do they have the offense, but they also have. I mean, look who's closing for these guys. Joe
Nathan.
It's weird to say that they not only have some of the best hitters in the game, but then it's like, oh, not only Joe Nathan, but Adams from
Mike Adams, Neftali Feliz, they're pretty
the Padres
stacked
in their 8th inning, and suddenly they look like they're legit. I mean. They're not the team we
better
saw
to lose
in 2010.
2 out of 3 to the Rangers in 2012 than 2010. So
they're not. They're not the team we saw in 2010. They're better.
Yeah,
they're absolutely better.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No, I was telling you on Friday. I said, you know what? I think that these guys. I think there's a very good chance these guys go back to the World Series this year, and I think there's a very good chance that this time they do it.
Well, it'd be tough,
but
to
we'll
lose
see.
3 in a row. It's very
they
few
could
teams.
become like the Buffalo Bills of Major League Baseball.
It's very few teams that lose 3 championship series in a row. Yeah, Buffalo Bills.
It's very few teams that get to 3 World Series championships in a row. So there is that as well.
When does that happen? Most of the time, you win 3 in a row if you get there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I gotta say, I feel pretty damn good about the fact that we looked real good against them on Saturday. It really came down to like today was. Okay, let's talk about Lincecum. Can we just talk about Lincecum real quick? Let's just get this out of the way. I know we have talking points and we got to get through all this stuff, but let's talk about Lincecum right now, okay? Now, did Lincecum look terrible today, or was this just him not quite being there? Chad, I want to hear what you have to say about Lincecum's pitching right now.
He has looked worse, and he wasn't helped by Pablo's defense today.
No.
He didn't make an error today, but it was those things good. You don't see in the box score, right? I mean, it was little plays here and there. It was throws in the dirt. He couldn't keep a
ball in his glove.
It was not coming in. Yeah, he couldn't keep a ball in his glove. He didn't charge on the bunt when he covered third. He threw in the dirt to Crawford. He picked it up.
That was freaky. I'm sorry. I just said a bad word on TortureCast, but that made me so angry that nobody fielded a bunt. I can't believe that happened. Like, to me, that's amazing. Like, Pablo goes from playing Josh Hamilton in the hole at shortstop and actually doing what the shortstop's supposed to do, right? Which he's not supposed to know how to do instinctively, and yet he did. And then he goes to not fielding a bunt on Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, dude, what are you doing? How are you not fielding this bunt? To me, that's inexcusable. I don't care how many days you've not played baseball. You must, as a third baseman, be charging that bunt. You have to.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, Lincecum overall, though, at first, spring training, he's always had his kinks. He's always had his rust. He's had periods of 4, 5, 6 starts in the past, like August 2010, right before he went to the postseason.
Absolutely, yeah.
The whole thing. This was his 13th start of the year.
And he hasn't had one good start.
Well, he's had one in New York where it was a shutout. It was a little shaky, but it was 8 innings of no runs.
It was not a Lincecum start. We have not seen Lincecum one time this year.
We haven't at all. And his ERA went up.
We've seen flashes, but not like one whole Lincecum start.
No, we've seen an inning or two, right, where he struck out the side.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'd say last.
Like in the post. Well, the post I wrote earlier this week. Really, I was trying to break down some of the Lincecum stats, and one of them, of course, is K per 9. How many strikeouts is he getting? That's still pretty close to his season average.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's still striking out around 9 per 9.
The problem is the changeup has the changeup's got a lot of bite, but the fastball, he just can't locate it. And once you lose any ability to control the fastball, you just get guys looking off speed because they know the fastball won't be on target.
Way up. I mean, they're up by almost 50%. I mean, that is just absolutely killing them. And then number 2, like you just said, I mean, they go hand in hand. Location not being able to locate, of course, is going to increase your walks. It's also going to increase your batting average for balls hit in play, basically, because they're fatter pitches is essentially what it is. He's not hitting the corners like he used to, or dropping it off the table and having guys foul it off or hit, weak ground balls. I mean, I got him 0-2, Tony Gwynn Jr., change up right, down the middle of the plate, things like that. Or to Josh Hamilton the other day today, things like that, where he's just not locating well at all. His batting average and balls hit in play is well over 300, when traditionally it was much lower than that. It's higher than the league average itself.
Yeah.
So it's completely mental. He's even admitted it. But at what point is he going to break through this? I mean, is this something that Boch has to actually sit him down for a start or two? Is that even going to send a message to him? Do they need to install?
I don't think that measure will happen at all. I think Bochy's going to put him out there every fifth day, no matter what, because he's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah.
And how do you sit that guy? How do you sit that?
Yeah.
How do you say, as a 2-time Cy Young Award winner and a 3-time strikeout leader in the major leagues? The guy struck out 265 in his second year in the big leagues. You're going to sit this guy. You're not going to. It's just not going to happen. But it's a huge indicator when Matt Cain has struck out more guys than Tim Lincecum. That's not supposed to happen. Matt Cain is not a strikeout pitcher. Tim Lincecum is. Matt Cain is a guy who goes out there and he gets people to hit his pitch, basically. And that's what he does. And Tim Lincecum goes out and strikes people out and leads the league in strikeouts. 3 years in a row, he leads the league in strikeouts. And right now, he's not even leading the Giants in strikeouts. And he's not doing his job at all. And I honestly, we got to throw him out there every fifth day because he is still Tim Lincecum. But it's not Tim Lincecum day anymore. You know what I mean? It's not something to celebrate when Tim Lincecum hits the mound these days. It's like, can we get a win out of this? Can we find a way to scratch out 6 runs? Can we find a way to not make a single error today? He's Zito. He is Barry Zito right now.
Yep.
Barry Zito, when he started 2 years ago, we were saying, look, they're going to score 5 or 6 or 7. So we need to score more than that. That is what Tim Lincecum is right now. And it's crazy. It's really weird. Well, it throws me off as a Giants fan.
This is the Bizarro year, and Timmy has really been the biggest sign of that. Things
really
are not the way that they
off.
Traditionally have been.
It absolutely feels. It doesn't feel. It doesn't feel good. I'll just say that. It just. We love Tim. We all love him, right? And we know that he's great. And it's just we struggle to figure out exactly what's going wrong. Because he looked nasty against San Diego, right? He looked as nasty as we've ever seen Tim Lincecum look. You guys can all agree that game against San Diego, after that first inning, he was Tim Lincecum of old, right?
Right. I mean,
he had a nice 2 or 3 inning start
with San Diego.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where you say, how is it that he can't find this all the time? How is it that he can't find what he found for 4 innings against San Diego? And today it took him, he strikes out Kinsler in the first inning on 3 pitches. And you think, okay, this is great. Here comes Timmy. Timmy's back. And then he gets a sharp ground ball to Pablo. Fine, great. We still get an out. That's great. And then he walks 3 guys in a row. And this is what it is with Tim. It's like he can't just do it. It's like everybody just knows, if I just don't swing against this guy, he's not going to throw me strikes, Whereas in 2010, if you didn't swing against him, he was just going to strike you on 3 pitches. Because he was always going to be 0-1 after the first pitch, and then he was going to drop those changeups on you, and you just had no chance, And we don't see it now, and God, it's frustrating. I'm sorry. I'm. This is the Drunk Willie episode, by the way. And my God,
if you're just tuning in now, which is difficult because podcasts don't tune in the middle.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in halfway through a podcast, sorry.
You just turned it on and then you decided to click the cursor over a little bit.
This is. I mean, I know I'm drunk ranting, but I know every other Giants fan right now feels this, where it's just like, dude, why? What is it? You still have that nasty bite on that changeup.
Well, and we're seeing it is the worst thing.
He's almost halfway through the season.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's not shown
2
any
and
signs
7.
of turning it around. His ERA is still going up.
2 and 7 with a 6 ERA right now.
2 and 11 when he starts. He's got 13 starts. He usually gets about, the last 4 years, he's had 33 starts. So he's about 20 starts left. 2 or 3 starts from now, he's halfway through the season. I mean, he hasn't shown any signs of turning it around.
No.
He shows signs of good innings, but not of turning it around. So
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have 1 good inning or 2 good innings. You have to have good starts.
Yeah.
You're a starting pitcher. You can't come in and have a bad inning and then be like, oh, but the other 5 were great. No,
I mean, he
doesn't
could be
work.
heading. I mean, I really want to do some research into this, but he could be heading for one of the biggest disappointment seasons for someone of his caliber and at his age for not having physical problems. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's not injured unless we don't know that he's injured. But
right,
look,
as far as we can tell, he's not injured unless they pull a Zito on him and say he's injured later.
the guy has
Yeah.
been an all-star
Right.
4 years in a row, right? And he's clearly not an all-star this year.
Yeah, even if Bochy was managing the All-Star team, he couldn't
No,
select
there's
him
no,
this year.
there's no friggin' way that he goes to the
And he
All-Star
wouldn't.
game.
I mean,
by the
this-
way, though,
Yeah.
let's you know, as we're talking about how
Credit where
bad
credit is due.
Zito or as bad as Lincecum, it's almost like, dude, did you hear me just now? As bad as Zito's
Yeah.
been, like, no, as bad as Lincecum
We're just so used to
has
saying
been,
that. It's the problem.
As bad as Lincecum has been, the other 4 starters could all make cases to be all stars at this point.
Yep.
All 4 of them. And it's just really ridiculous that Lincecum is the guy holding us back. And that, I think it was one of you guys. Was it one of you guys who posted on our TortureCast Twitter that if you take away Lincecum's starts this year, the Giants
That was
would
Jeff.
be the best team in the major leagues?
So I
Well-
updated it for tonight, and so they're 2 and 11 in his starts. So you just
Sure.
do the simple math. You take away the wins and the
Take
losses.
away
They would
2
be.
wins and take away 11
If
losses.
basically, I'm not saying if anyone else started the games. I'm saying if those games were never played.
Exactly.
right?
Imagine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, whatever. Because you have to.
Yeah, not if someone else
honestly,
started.
you have to
Just
take
if
away
those
the
games
other
were removed.
pitchers, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take away
They'd
2
be
wins and
32
11 losses.
They'd be 32 and 16 right now. That's 6.67 ball. That's winning 2 out of 3 games. It blows away the winning percentage of anyone right now.
It's like,
I mean,
that's like you're like 4
plain and
games
simple.
in front of the best team in the majors, right? That's
So,
at
yeah.
least, right? So that's crazy. That's crazy to try to take Lincecum off the table and say that once you take Lincecum out, we're the best team in the majors. That's ridiculous. Would any Giants fan at the beginning of this year go, hey, I wish Lincecum would never start for us. You know, I wish he would just never pitch. But that's where we're at. That is where we're at. I'm not looking forward to Lincecum starts. Or
No.
I'm, you know, when they come, I think, oh, please, please, God, let him give up only 2 or only 3 in 6 innings. You know, and it's crazy. He hasn't done that like at all this year, and it's unbelievable that we are anywhere near the front of our division with what Lincecum has done. It really speaks to what Zito's done. It speaks to what Vogelsong's done. Bumgarner, Kane. I mean, these guys have pitched out of their minds.
Yeah.
And we have
And the
4
entire bullpen, frankly, up and down.
And the entire
have been pretty
bullpen,
solid, with the exception of
absolutely.
Edlison. But
Yeah, with the exception a couple of guys who haven't had good, good runs, but honestly, every single other pitcher on our team has pitched out of their minds, and that is what's keeping us at all in contention. Because Lincecum has almost single-handedly sabotaged this team this year, and it's unbelievable. Nobody saw this coming, right?
No, not at all. No one saw this. I'm sorry. I mean, you'd see Tommy John surgery before this. I mean, he's struggling so much mentally. Bochy's frustrated. I'm sure some of the players are frustrated. I know he's frustrated. At least he's facing the media saying, I I'm trying to work through this. I don't really know what's wrong, but at some point, I mean, even if they skipped a start, let's say, or two for the rest of the year, I mean, I guess the Giants are just going to stick with him. I mean, what if he ends the season with a 5 ERA and like 4 wins?
Yeah,
that's insane. That's what he's on track for.
Like 4-15 or something. I mean, that could happen because the problem is he's got the track record that you can't just bench him, right? Like if Vogelsong sucks for 3 starts in a row, he's down. You know, like he goes down to the minors. If Lincecum sucks for 3 starts in a row, we go, we're going to keep running him out there.
Yep.
And that's what happens, 2 Cy Youngs in a row, that's what it gets you. You keep running out there every 5 days. And if he sucks now, if he's done, it doesn't matter. He's going to keep going out there. He's going to keep going out there. And that's... it's painful. It's painful to watch as a Giants fan. It's painful to watch as a Giants podcaster. I mean, I want to talk about how he's pulling it together, but I can't, I just can't. So, anyway.
All right, let's talk about offense.
Can we please move on? Yeah, we please move on? I mean, this is just killing me.
It's one of those years where offense is actually is not an offensive topic,
Chad,
so to speak.
Chad, give us something, dude, please.
I've got nothing. No, so let's talk about Melky and his hamstring.
Nope.
All right, Melky.
Little concerned about it.
I mean, Amy G says that they're thinking he'll be back in a couple days. Though they rested him today, so that he gets tomorrow off. They're feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, so they're thinking he might be back on Tuesday.
Doesn't sound like it's been anything too serious.
Hopefully he's not going to be extending doubles into triples and trying to steal bases at this point. It's just that hamstrings are real tricky things. Very, very tricky things. I'm just very concerned that having just 1 week off, it's going to be one of those nagging chronic injuries. And throughout this season, he's going to just have a repeat injury every 2 or 3 weeks, and to the point where he might go down for 15 days or longer. So I'm obviously they're going to be babying this thing. I just hope they don't bring him back too quickly, but they certainly need his bat because, I mean, my God, he's just on fire right now. And I mean, he's clearly going to be an all-star this year.
Willie was pointing out on Friday, he's barely missed any games, and that's going to take its toll on you after a while if they aren't careful how they use that.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is that Milky and Pagan have both played basically every day since the start of the season, and we've seen like Pablo also was playing every day until he got hurt, and. It just takes a toll on a guy, I mean, even though you're playing the outfield, it's not like playing catcher. It's not like playing shortstop or something like that. It's you're playing the outfield. But the fact of the matter is that Melky was playing every day, and you always knew that Melky was being penciled in. And when you're hitting 370, that also means you're spending a lot of time on the base paths. You know what I mean? That means that you're not going up to the dish and then going back to the dugout. You're getting hits, you're getting on base, and you're standing on the base paths, which is even more exhausting, So I was actually really surprised at how durable Melky had been this year. And I knew at some point we were going to see him. He must get days off. He must whatever. I just really hope, though, that, and Chad, like you said, a hamstring injury can easily become an aggravating thing that goes on the rest of the year. We've seen.
I called KMBR the other day because not Ralph and Tom. I always say that Tom and Burns were talking.
Yeah, Ralph is gone.
Yeah, Ralph has been gone for a little while now.
Yeah.
Burns was talking about Melky's hamstring. They're both talking about it, and so he was recanting his story. From 2008, spring training with the Diamondbacks, and how he was running some wind sprints in the outfield with Chris Young. And Chris Young on the last couple laps was egging him on and going, "Oh, you can't beat me. And he kind of dusted Burns a couple of times. They're doing pole-to-pole runs, 10 of them, back and forth from foul pole to foul pole. So in the last one, Burns said to himself, all right, I'm going to bust it out. I'm going to give it everything I've got because I'm going to beat CY. No problem at all. So they start going, and he puts it into that extra gear, and he felt his hamstring twinge, and he kind of had to limp up. And so He played through spring training almost until about a week or so before the beginning of the season, and he finally brought it to the trainer's attention because it was really nagging him. It wasn't to the point where he couldn't walk or anything like that or run, but it was nagging. And so they did get some treatment, but it was only about a month into the season when he finally completely just pulled it off the bone. I mean, it just popped off the bone, and that's basically, I take that back, he was on the DL once or twice, and then about halfway through the season, he pulled it off the bone, and then he missed pretty much the better part of a full year, and he thinks that really led to the decline and his ultimate exit from the game. Is because of that hamstring.
Which was pretty damn early, actually.
It was. It's very. I mean, he's still of playing age. You know. I mean, his body quit on him.
Yeah, what was he, like 34 or something like that?
Yeah, and his body was just. I think he's still getting paid. By the way, by the Diamondbacks. I think he's on the last year of his contract.
My girlfriend used to date his cousin.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I freaking hate.
So
him.
I tried to call in because. I had an experience with my hamstring where I was, playing ball and I pulled it and I didn't play for 3 weeks, and I thought 3 weeks was enough. And sure enough, the next time I went out and I hit a line drive down the line, third baseman made a great snag, and I just thought to myself, there's no way you're going to throw me out. I found that extra gear down the line, and where I had injured myself completely ripped off the bone. And not only that, but as I was screaming in midair, I landed, and then my knee hyperextended backwards.
Dude.
And it ripped my outside hamstring completely off the bone. So I ripped, and you only have 3 in each leg.
That's true.
So I thought I busted the ACL or something like that. As it turns out, I had two hamstrings just dangling there, actually starting to retract into my leg. So I had to have surgery within the week, and they could only save one of them, but it was the big one on the outside. They had to yank it back down with a big old grabbers, like these big old metal fingers, and then bolt it back into the head of the fibula.
Dude, that's horrible.
But the moral of the story, I didn't get through, by the way. They didn't end up taking calls. Whoever was screening, I don't know who it was that day, but they're like, oh, great story. Yeah, we'll get you through. And they didn't take a single call for the next hour and a half. It was insane. But the moral of the story is that I'm very intimate and familiar with hamstrings, that even a mild hamstring pull, if not taken care of and not rehabilitated and rested, it can really screw you over. And so having just a week off from a hamstring, even a minor hamstring pull, may not be enough. And so hopefully it's not going to be a problem for the rest of the year.
Even when you think it's recovered, it might not be. And as a major league ball player, you're thinking, I need to get back out there. So you might push it, And a guy like Cabrera, we cannot lose this guy again.
We cannot lose him for an extended period of time.
It's more important to me to let him recover fully. Like, sit out an extra 2 or 3 days, even beyond when you think it's back, because we need you down the stretch. You know what I mean? Like, when it becomes August and September, if we don't have Cabrera because we tried to get him to play in June, it's really gonna be egg on your face time for Bochy if we don't have this guy then.
Because and I feel like if you're going to sit him,
you know what I mean?
Like a 3 or 4 game series against the Houston Astros is not a bad time to try and sit Cabrera.
True. And also, we just got Pablo back. So if we didn't have Pablo and we were still fine, I mean, okay, somebody put this into the show notes. While Pablo was gone, we went, 21-14?
Yeah, we're actually we're 7 games above 500 right now. That's exactly what that difference is.
Pretty damn good.
We were 500 when he left.
Pretty damn good, right?
We're 7 up.
Yeah. So let's just say,
if his defense comes back, then that continues, and if he plays like he is right now, then maybe it goes back to 500. It's hard to say right now.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Pablo coming back and Melky going down is almost like a wash, right? Like, it kind of is. It kind of is, because who replaces Melky? Shearholtz, right?
Yeah.
So does Shearholtz hit so much worse than Arias hits worse than Pablo? Right? Like, think about Arias to Pablo and Shearholtz to Melky. Is that, like, so much of a difference that, like, we're not still
given
treading
that the two
water?
are coming back, the one came in as the other went out, and it's kind of a revolving door with, like, 2 days separation.
We're still treading water with that exchange to where we went 21-14. I don't think that Melky has to be in the lineup for us to win, ball games. I think we can still win ball games because of our pitching is so fantastic that we can get away with Melky sitting down until he's healthy. And then come August, come September, it's time to go crazy and it's time to go on a tear, right? And have everybody
you heard
healthy.
about the latest hypothetical of what they might be doing with Panda here if he doesn't tighten up his defense and perhaps shed a few pounds? Is that they sent Pill back down to the minor leagues, of course, because he was really struggling. He was their right-handed guy off the bench. He wasn't hitting left-handers really well. They're actually thinking, and Bochy's actually kind of hinted towards this. If
Pablo
Panda doesn't clean up his act, he might be over at first base for left-handers.
Yeah,
against left-handers.
Pablo at first base, Arias at third base. Because now here's the thing about Arias though. Arias is also batting like 230. I mean.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Two or three guys who are being kind of replacement level right now. It's just that Arias has really flashed some leather at third, which is not a position he's played commonly. So, I mean, his natural defensive instincts have been really handy. And it's hard not to at least want to give him a little more time.
Let's actually put this into perspective, okay? Right? So, Arias playing third and Pablo playing first base, right? This means that this has to be better than Belt at first base and Pablo third, right? Like
at least against a lefty.
It has to be better than that, though, right? Like it has to be better than that for that to make sense.
Well, Belt and Arias, I mean, they're both around the same batting average.
Exactly, but what I'm saying,
and then you upgrade your defense, right?
What I'm saying is, all you're upgrading is defense.
Or do you though? Because Belt is an excellent defender at first.
Exactly.
So you're essentially moving to an excellent defender at third.
You're speaking exactly to what I was about to bring up, which is that to put Pablo at first base, are we just going to discount the value of a defensive first baseman? Because Belt is fantastic at first base. We saw this when he made a fantastic diving grab and then immediately on the very next play ranged to his left and caught a foul ball right in front of the dugout of the Rangers on Saturday. We saw this. So Belt is fantastic at first. He takes walks, so his OBP is actually much better than his batting average would indicate that your OBP should be at, right? So even though he only, at this point, is batting like 220, do we think he's really a 220 hitter? I mean, we think he's probably better than that once he actually gets into the groove of what he's supposed to be doing, right?
So he doesn't go down 0-2 in every at-bat.
Exactly. So Pablo needs to come over there, and Arias needs to hit like 270, 280.
But I mean, to put it out there, though, I mean, Arias is on base. Arias technically has a higher batting average, 235 to 228. But
it's not
as
enough.
We've all seen, Brandon Belt's on base is 345.
It's not enough. Yeah, it's
Joaquin
not
Arias
enough of a
is
difference.
274. He's not getting on base as often as Belt is.
Exactly. It's not enough of a difference to me to say that Belt should be playing or Arias should be playing instead of Belt. Belt, to me, with a higher OBP, should be in the lineup because that's what the Giants are missing is guys getting on base. Mm-hmm. That's what the Giants are always missing.
I don't know if, I mean, the question is going to be for me if Panda's defense tightens up at third or not, and whether or not Belt finds a little bit more of his swing than he has been. I mean, everybody is expecting the home runs to come. Maybe that's not going to happen right now, but we still need his batting average to be higher than 228 at first base.
I honestly, there's no way you can keep Panda out of the lineup, period. I mean,
no, not right now.
With the way the Giants are now, and Pablo honestly is one of the better bats in the National League, period. I'm not going to sway on that. He is. He is one of the best bats in the National League. And he must be in the lineup, whether he's fat as hell and can't play third base, whatever. I don't care.
Well,
the guy has to be in the
play
lineup.
Third base, that's one thing. But I don't feel like he's in a cannot place yet.
He can.
You know?
Yeah, he will make a great play.
That's going to take a lot.
He will make a great play, and then he will, Well,
he's going to go all Brandon Crawford on us for a while is what I'm more worried about, is that he'll just screw all the routine stuff like bunts. That's more what I'm worried about.
Yeah, well,
but,
it's tough to say.
I don't know.
But the fact is, we know, as a Giants fan, we know Pablo's not coming out of the lineup. Pablo needs to be in the lineup, and he will be there. And as long as he's healthy, the guy's going to be playing every single day. And we love Pablo, right? We love him. We're not going to talk crap about Pablo. We love Pablo as a player and as a person, but maybe things have distracted him, and he needs to stay on top of his weight, and we know that. But the guy is still. There's nobody else that I want batting third for the Giants right now. I don't want anybody else batting third for the Giants. I want Pablo. Well, actually, I want Pablo batting fifth, but
I was going to say Pablo or Melky. I'll grant you that.
I want Melky third.
No
Posey
Pagan
fourth.
third. No Posey third.
I want Melky third, Posey fourth, Pablo fifth. That's what I want. I want that every day, and I want Pablo not to make any more stupid errors and not covering bunts. But he needs to get kicked in the ass every now and then. He does. The guy's great and he loves baseball, but
But he's looking big again. And that's
he takes things for granted. I swear to God, he takes things for granted, and he can't. He can't as a baseball player. Someone needs to get on his ass and be like, Pablo, no. Pablo in his entourage needs that guy who says, no, Pablo, no donut today. You know what I mean?
Dude, you know that when he was at the
dog
Seascape
today.
in Santa Cruz at 4 a.m., you know that they had Jack in the box with them.
Absolutely, dude. I'm telling you, man. Somebody was giving him. He was like, "Man, we could get 2 tacos for 99 cents, dude." And he was
Jumbaco, 4 a.m. Let's do it.
Yeah, totally. 4 a.m. Right?
Jumbaco.
Yeah. All right. Here's the thing.
Jumbaco.
Everybody listening to the podcast right now, because this is the Drunk Willie Dills episode.
We'll get a Jumbaco.
I'm taking a shot, and you should.
Oh, look at that.
Whoop.
You
That
should.
just
Very
happened.
nice. You should too.
This is the Willie Dills Progressively Drunker episode. I missed that.
He's not getting more sober.
I'm not going to
He's
I'm
not
not going to
sobering
sober
up.
up. I'm not sobering.
He's
up,
not sober.
While you're doing your shot, I will point this out.
Sure, why not?
Versus left-handers right now, Joaquin Arias is actually batting .264 with a .304 on base percentage. Versus lefties, Brandon Belt is actually, and given that he has not had a lot of time, he's only got 17 at bats against lefties.
Yeah, it's not much.
But in those, so it's not a lot for him to see that. But
because he
in
was not
17 at
batting
bats,
against them,
a batting average of 118 with an on base of 238.
All right.
So that's where some of that reasoning has come from, because Bochy likes his matchups, except he's not giving Belt enough chances to prove anything against lefties either. So he's sort of
it's one of those
out
chicken
of
and
hand
egg
saying
things,
this. It's a catch-22.
Can we just bring up the fact, though, that we send down the right-handed first baseman who's batting .220?
Yeah.
While we're saying we want this left-handed first baseman who's batting .220 to stay up, and he's our man of the future. And as your backup, we're going to keep the other left-handed first baseman who's batting .145. And we're going to send down the right-hander who's batting the exact same thing as you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
This is where the Pablo
Does
talk
that
comes
make
into
sense
play, though.
as a baseball move, right?
This is where the Pablo talk comes into play, because this is where you start hearing the rumblings that maybe Panda potentially gets more starts at first,
But
because
as
there's
a
now
baseball
no right-handed
move,
Belt.
Ben,
No right-handed
please, as a baseball move, can either of you guys defend Aubrey Huff still being on the Giants roster? Can anybody defend it?
Look,
Yeah,
the
he's
Giants
making more
showed
money than
that.
Brett Belt.
That's true, but last year, granted, it was later in the year. It wasn't this early. I mean, they showed their moves with Tejada and Rowan that they will pull the trigger on guys with higher salaries.
But how is it
You
not
can only do
happened
that so
with
many
Huff?
times before all of it's still on your books.
Dude,
but, I mean,
okay. Today we're getting no hit, right? By 2 different pitchers, and Huff finally gets a double. But still, dude's batting .145. Gone on the DL for mental issues.
my question is he doing
pulling
better
his
since he
weight,
came back?
Period. Yeah, as he's been back, all he is what? A pinch hitter, right?
Well, but he's been a pinch hitter who's been taking a lot more walks, which is something this team, as usual, is not particularly good at.
Okay, he had 1 walk that was a big factor in the game. And he got us a win, yes. The 1 walk where he walked in a run, which by the way, was questionable as a walk because,
It was a close call.
it was a very close pitch. It was almost to the point where, you need to swing at that because that's close as hell. And you kind of luck out when it's not a strike. But The fact is, that is literally the only game he's contributed to us winning so far this year. How is it that then Brett Pill goes down and he stays up, right? It's only because of the contract. So if we're talking baseball, Brett Pill should still be here, right? Let's just talk baseball.
Yeah, if numbers weren't a part
money.
of it, I mean...
Forget money,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Huff should
At this
be
point,
gone.
Probably, but...
But you can't say forget money. That's the problem.
You can't. No, you can't. No,
Yeah.
You're right, Ben. Yeah,
I'm
you're
not,
absolutely right.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that you're wrong. Like, I agree. I don't think this is the smartest baseball decision unless we're going to get Pill regular time, which he isn't necessarily seeing now against righties in Fresno, which is probably what will happen. But otherwise, like from a baseball standpoint, I don't see the point of sending Pill down. The problem is it's not always just a baseball standpoint. You've got a manager who likes his veteran players. You've got a GM who likes his veteran players. You've got a guy who endeared himself to fans from 2010. You've got a guy who is playing pretty much the same, only seeing pitches better, who's a lefty at first base. And so when you've got those two together, it's two guys, it's three guys that the fan base has really rallied itself around for different reasons at different times. And out of those three, who do you keep? The one who's getting on base more and the one who you're giving more money to. So from an overall package sense, I get it. But I agree with you. It's not necessarily the smartest pure baseball move.
That Brandon Belt should be the starting first baseman consistently.
At this time.
Yeah. Consistently, the starting first baseman should be Brandon Belt. And that is how exactly, all is right when Brandon Belt is playing first base for the Giants right now. And the thing is that, Aubrey Huff did earn a lot of cred in 2010, and he got himself a 2-year contract. And, I will never forget 2010 because he was the man. He was the guy. We don't win in 2010. And it makes me sad when Giants fans boo Aubrey Huff. It makes me sad. It makes me go, guys, are we really 2 years removed from that and you're going to boo this guy? That sucks, right? That
does
sucks.
suck. I agree.
Because, look, I understand saying, look, okay, he shouldn't play, whatever, but to boo him when he's on the field, that's horrible. Because the guy, he was the guy. 90 RBIs, 20 home runs.
He had a career year in 2010, and so many of our guys did. The same reason so many people like Freddie Sanchez.
Yeah,
it's
we do not hold a world championship above our heads without Aubrey Huff in 2010. So that counts, and that needs to still count. And it really makes me angry when people just boo the hell out of him. But that being said, as a manager of a baseball team, and a general manager of a baseball team, that doesn't count anymore. You know what I mean? As a fan, that still counts.
As a fan, you should remember it, but as an executive, you're worried about trying to win now. But as a person
who's trying to win baseball games right now, that doesn't count anymore.
Right. You don't keep somebody around because the fans like him unless there's a way to do so without causing other problems. And right now, the roster and first base are both logjammed enough that it is potentially an issue.
Exactly. Okay, so Ben, we're already at like 48 minutes into this podcast, so we need to get to this now before we get to our other stuff. You were at the game with me on Friday,
right?
And people were screaming and yelling about Aubrey Huff. People were screaming and yelling. Well, yeah, he only.
I was gonna say I did like the Huff, you suck, Huff, you suck, Huff, you suck. I still love you though.
Yeah.
I was like,
that
all
was
right,
pretty good. That was
that.
pretty good.
I can respect that.
So, but Chad, I'm sure you can weigh in on this as well. But me and Ben were at the game together, and there's a guy behind us. We're losing like 4-0, right? But we're losing 4-0, and it's painful
at the time. Yep.
And it was a painful game. It was absolutely painful. There's a guy behind us screaming obscenities and just being as negative of a fan as you can be. Just the most awful rhetoric you can scream as a fan. He's screaming. So, F you, Bochy, you're an a-hole.
Used a C word a couple times.
Yeah.
A couple other ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Classy.
So
little
here's the
kids
thing.
all over our section.
So
too, mind you.
here's what I want to say as the Torture Cast, and I know you guys, I don't want to speak
okay, well,
for you guys, but I'm pretty sure you guys are.
I'll
with
be
me
the
on
sober
this.
one backing you up. It's okay.
Sure, please, yeah. I'm sure
Got
you
you.
guys can back me up on this. It sucks enough when you're losing that we don't need to hear you screaming in our ears about how we're losing. It makes it worse. It really makes it worse to be at the ballpark when you're screaming and yelling obscenities and about how much we suck when we're already losing 4-0. So what I want to do is I want to encourage fans to find a way to reach inside themselves and find that ballpark etiquette that says, let's be good to each other, around each other, right? So screaming and yelling is a good thing at a ballpark. It's good. Screaming and yelling about how much the other team sucks. Screaming and yelling about how much you love your own team. Screaming and yelling about baseball in general. These are all good things, right? But screaming and yelling about how much our team sucks while we're losing.
And just screaming and yelling
really
obscenities
don't need
in general.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
we really don't need that. And we also don't need you to throw the F word and the C word and the S word and any other word you can think of. We don't need that thrown in as well. There were like children around us, and I'm sure that the parent who brought that kid is instilling the proper baseball values to them and is making future fans. But when there's like a dude spitting all over your face as he screams and yells obscenities, it's not making it better for that little kid. And it's not making that little kid think, I want to go to baseball games for the rest of my life. So if you find yourself at a baseball game, Torture Cast listeners, please don't do that. All you can do is not do it, honestly.
Okay, so next time, I'm at a game with you guys, or if all three of us are there.
Sure.
We need to come and just be ready to yell sabermetric obscenities. Bochy, what are you doing? His xFIP is only 4.7.
But here's what I'm. Yeah, no.
Your BABIP sucks.
If you're gonna yell
the
stuff,
hell out of the fans around us and go,
If
are they
yeah.
cursing?
if you're gonna yell stuff,
Why can't you do that in a high leverage situation, you dipstick?
Exactly. Yell stuff that's clever. Yell stuff that's interesting. Don't just yell obscenities. And also, if people are yelling around you,
Hey, Bochy, why did the milk dry up?
here's the thing too, Ben. Look, me and you didn't say a word, right? I'm going to encourage everybody to not allow this to happen near you. If someone is being a complete a-hole and yelling a bunch of obscenities or whatever, like, I'm not saying go tattle on that dude, but put that dude in his place. Like the dude who is yelling about how
My favorite is that some of the people who were with him totally tried.
Well, yeah,
they
but no,
were in
he-
front of us, and the guy was behind us.
he was
and
yelling
he was
about how
clearly too drunk to listen.
Cabrera was not playing.
No, that was the other guy.
So okay,
There were two guys. In
there was
fairness, and
there was different.
One of them was
different
much
guys.
worse than the other, in my opinion.
But the guy who yells about how Cabrera is not playing, be like, yeah, why has Cabrera got an injury to his hamstring? Yeah, hamstring, bring it. Just somehow show this dude. You're an idiot. You don't understand what's happening right now. It just bothers the crap out of me. Because I remember being a kid, and I remember people who were hammered drunk yelling stuff. And it's a good thing I loved baseball as much as I did. But I could easily see me being like, nah, baseball's not for me. There's this dude screaming, yelling F words at me. I'm not going back to baseball. You know what I mean? And that sucks. And it's one dude, hammered drunk, who's ruining the entire section's experience. And I want Giants fans to know, don't do it. It's not cool. Don't do it.
No, that's too bad, man. Yeah, you don't hear it often at Giants games. I mean, I've been to Raider games and some Niner games. It gets really graphic, but yeah, especially with the kids around. Man,
I mean, especially just, so many more kids go to baseball games because it's just that family day out of the park. Not that you don't bring kids to football or basketball games, but it's so much more frequent to bring them to baseball games, and it's
you see more kids
of a family atmosphere.
No, this is the SF Giants Stadium now. AT&T Park is very much a family friendly situation, and I remember Candlestick. I would be one of the only kids there. Like it was a bunch of drunk dudes and me.
I was gonna say my whole elementary school went, but we pretty much had our own section.
Yeah. No, I remember one time somebody said it was a Giants Dodgers game and a fight broke out over and over again. And somebody leaned over to me and said, "This is our version of the wave." Because it was like a Giants Dodgers fight, just like one after another, and
circling around the stadium.
And they were like, "Yeah, we don't do the wave here, but we do fight Dodgers fans over and over again." And I was just, and I was like maybe 12 years old, and I was just like, "Yeah, this is what baseball is." But I want little kids to be happy going to a game. And we were sitting in the upper deck, we were sitting in the 99 percenters were around us, if you will.
Right.
And, it's okay to get wasted. I mean, I'm wasted right now, guys. I don't know if you know this. I'm wasted right now. I actually take another shot.
Obscenities at us.
I'm going to take another shot. And,
God damn this
and
podcast.
I just want to say, if you guys...
Come on,
podcast. You guys ever the C words... Chad, you can't hit for nothing. You are the worst hitter I've ever seen in my life. Ben, I don't know what you're doing running these bases, but you... Anyway. See,
I don't
do it.
Since I'm
You can do it without being an a-hole, is what I'm saying.
You can.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Well, I mean,
right.
You can do it without having to do unnecessary things.
Yeah. All right, speaking of being an a-hole. Oh, no, actually, wait a minute. It's not a-hole time. Let's tweet at me, bruh. Let's tweet at me. All right. Who's got a tweet at me, bruh? I think Chad's got one.
So it's not technically a tweet, but I'm going to go ahead and say it because he did link it.
It shows up on Twitter.
Sure.
Yeah, it showed up on Twitter,
It auto shows up on Twitter.
So anyway, Grant Bisbee, of course, who writes the McCovey Chronicles, he's always got that dry wit, and so I always like reading his stuff. But I just like the title of today's article that he wrote. Quote, source, Tim Lincecum is not having a good season.
That's insider.
It's just that dry wit
right
that
there.
just, because, he's getting that insider information that Tim Lincecum's not having a good season.
Wow.
He writes an article about
Serious
it.
insider information.
It's one of those things. It was so sarcastic, it made me chuckle. So it's all good.
All right, well, I'm going to get at 10032 Martin, which this is a while ago, actually, that he tweeted at us. This is like 9 days ago or something. 10032 Martin said, at TortureCast, just got into Giants and baseball in general.
Oh, yeah.
But after the 9th inning, I finally get your podcast name.
I do remember when that was good.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's sad because it's so true.
That's honestly,
I get it.
I think he posted this. I remember this. I think this was the series against the Cubs.
Yeah, it was the Cubs. It was the one we were leading 4-0 going into the ninth.
And then, hey,
Soriano
hits a home run, and suddenly it's 4-3, and we barely pull it out.
Yeah, they got the runners on base and the whole thing, and he's like, "Oh, I get it."
yeah. So, TortureCast. Look, if you were there in 2010, if you were there in 1994, if you were there in 1991, you remember. It's always been torturous. I mean, that's just how it is for a Giants fan. Let's talk about 97. Let's talk about going against the Dodgers and having all right, never mind. All right, I'm sorry.
Anyway,
we don't need to go down.
I'm on a
tangent.
I'm on a tangent right now. Yeah. All right, so let's hate on somebody. Oh no, wait, let's favorite somebody. Why
don't we start by not hating, because we got plenty of that this podcast. Let's
Clearly
start a little more
we're hating
positive.
on people a lot. So Chad, do you have a new favorite guy?
Yeah, I don't think Ben's Vogelsong jersey is losing value right now.
No, hell no. All-star.
He's doing Vogelstrong, whatever you want to call him. He is absolutely solid right now. He is rocking.
He should be an all-star this year again, don't you think?
Oh, I don't see why he's not going to be if he has some decent
How is he
frankly.
not an all-star? If he's not an all-star this year, there's something wrong with
I
how
believe
they
his
pick
ERA
all-stars.
was in the high twos when Bochy selected him last year. I mean, if he keeps around the mid twos, right now it's 2.26, which is insane.
Wait,
but if he keeps around the mid
second
to high
in the
twos-
National League.
Yeah, he's
right?
second in the National League.
So
I mean,
how
if
would
anything,
he
he's-
not be an
He's
all-star?
looked better this year. Is the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
if
He is
anything,
better this
he's-
year statistically.
he's-
Yeah.
yeah,
heads and shoulders
he's
above
he's
where he
looked
was.
better, and that's the key because it's all about how the players because it's the players that vote on the pitchers, and it's all in how what the players perceive. And if the players look at Vogelsong and they go, that guy is real dangerous. Like I'm pretty convinced Kane makes the
You know
All-Star
what's-
team because so many players say Kane is underrated, right there, and I think
Right.
that Vogelsong has to be right behind him.
The thing that's so nice about watching him pitch is that he's kind of got that Lincecum feel right now. I mean,
Yeah.
Kane has a little bit of it too, where when he takes
Right.
the bump, you just go, they're probably
Yeah,
going to win
but,
today.
but
Unless
Kane's
he has a
already
really bad
had
off-
that. Like Kane to me.
Oh yeah, no, Kane already had that.
Like
but
Kane
I mean,
to me, it doesn't feel like a surprise. Like
no.
Vogelsong,
But
I'm like,
Lincecum
wow,
always kind of
really?
had the number one. Like, oh, we got a 90%, 80% chance of winning today, and Kane was kind of like right behind him. But now, Lincecum's fallen off the planet to Zito territory. Zito's back up where maybe Vogelsong
That
was.
was
always-
Vogelsong 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But Vogelsong this year, I mean, you look at his velocity and things like that. His fastball's around. I mean, he can pop at 91. He started the game yesterday at 91, but he's usually averaging around 89. I mean, he's slower than Lincecum and Kane and Bumgarner and these guys. But his
He's got more command
location,
than anyone in this rotation. More command than anybody.
his command is stellar. He has such a low walk total, and he is just he throws it where he wants to, and he's getting guys to swing at weak pitches or strong pitches for weak hits. So I mean,
Yeah.
he's just on fire
Dude
right
is-
now. So it's
Dude
going to
is
be
the
an
Vogel
all.
sniper.
So it's great because he's such a nice guy. He's
Well,
been
and I
through
mean,
a lot.
question right
it's just
there. Based on our rotation pattern right now, Vogelsong best fifth starter in baseball. Very
yes.
possibly.
He
Very
should
possibly.
be a fifth starter.
Yeah,
he
I
should
mean,
be,
you
he
even-
should be an ace on a bunch of teams.
If you look at the other like really hot rotations in baseball right now, I mean, who's your fifth? Kyle Kendrick, Vance Worley, Vance Worley maybe.
Can
But
we
even
look?
then-
Can we please somebody? Well, I mean, I'm too drunk to do this, but can somebody look for another team where their ace is worse than 226? It's got to be like half of baseball.
Well, if he's number 2 in ERA, I mean that's basically the rest of baseball.
Yeah, right.
Except for one team.
So
There's
unless
that. Let me
our
see I'll
first
see if I
guy,
can look it up by ERA leaders right now.
Vogelsong has
Yeah.
quietly become the ace of this staff. And Matt Cain is outstandingly the ace of the staff right now, and probably should even start the All-Star game, I would say. I can't think of another pitcher having a more fantastic season than Matt Cain, but Vogelsong should potentially start the All-Star game if you didn't have Matt Cain. You know what I mean? Like, who else is having a better
Vogelsong-
season?
Brandon Beachy, and that's about it.
Brandon Beachy. Okay, right? Yeah.
It's
Nobody
Brandon
else.
Beachy, Chris Sale, and then it's Ryan Vogelsong.
There's
Third
nobody else.
Well,
best
sales
ERA.
American League too.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
so it's
NL
really
beat.
Brandon Beachy and Vogelsong as far as the NL discussion. And
Exactly.
the next guy, not that close. Gio Gonzalez, 235. James McDonald, 239. Both of whom are putting together stellar years.
Yeah, Gio's
And
looking real good.
Pretty
CJ Wilson,
ridiculous,
239.
though. Pretty
So, I mean-
ridiculous if you think about it. That these guys, nobody saw this coming from Vogelsong. Like, who would have
Fairness,
picked Vogelsong?
Kane's at 241, not very far behind. Ryan Vogelsong, but
Kane,
fact remains.
Kane is having a better year overall. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Vogelsong's ERA is lower, but Kane has been unbelievably fantastic all season long. And Vogelsong's, his ERA is lower, but Jesus Christ, Kane is the man. And Kane is.
Well, I mean,
We've talked
Kane-
about this.
Kane's-
Who do you
Kane's got the
give
best,
the
Kane's got the best
contract
whip
to?
in the NL,
Kane
by the
or
way.
Lincecum? And we've always said Kane, right? Like on this
well,
podcast, we've said Kane.
I do
over and over
remember
again.
having a long discussion of not the who gets the contract, but the who gets the ball in Game 7, and that one has changed over the last, I think, 2 years.
We've said let's
steadily.
come on that, yeah.
Yeah, I was the only one that said Kane a long time ago, and I felt slightly justified by the fact that Hank Schillman agreed with me.
Yeah.
But I think that even just 1 year later and then 2 years later, it was sort of like the opinion has changed because one guy has really matured and grown sort of in time with the rest of the team, and one guy kind of hasn't quite managed to stick with that ace mentality appearance.
Yeah.
I will point out, though, that out of the top 10 pitchers for earned run average in the entire major league, there's only there are 2 Giants and 2 Nationals, and that's in the top 10.
Who
It does
would
not
have
leave
seen
a lot
that
of room.
coming, by the way? Yeah, 2 Giants and 2 Nationals.
Yeah, really.
All right,
2 Giants,
so
I think they would have seen, but not Vogelsong in the top ERA.
We don't have a lot of
nobody would have
time
guessed that.
left, so let's. I'm gonna love somebody else right now. As my new favorite guy is Ryan Terrio.
Yep, on
The
fire.
Riot on fire.
Welcome back.
And here's the deal: it's not even just that he's getting hits, because he's not like he's smashing home runs or whatever. He's getting a lot of like ground balls through the infield and things like that.
Which we need.
But
Number 2 guy, especially.
the harder you hit a ground ball, the better chance it has to get to the infield. But he's also been playing a fantastic second base, and he's been running. He's been stealing bases. And he adds as a number 2 hitter, which is where he exactly fits on this team.
Mm-hmm.
As the number 2 hitter, he adds an element of speed beyond Blanco and beyond Pagan and beyond Cabrera, where we actually have another guy who can steal a base. And
I was going to say I wouldn't consider him comparable to those guys, but as a base runner, yeah, he does. He does have a good base running intelligence.
he's not as fast as any of those guys, but I feel like he
does have a green light. Yeah,
he's got as much of a chance to steal a base as any of those guys, though, because of just the fact that he knows how to do it. And he seems like an intelligent base runner, and he seems like he's pulling it off, and he's stealing a lot of bases, and it's fun to watch this guy play right now. So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm hoping that it stays, because we all talked a bunch of crap about this guy and how much he sucked about 2 months ago, or 1 month ago, or whatever, when he was batting, sub 200, and now he's batting like almost 300. So
Yeah, no, he's been
dude's
hit almost
turning it
500
around.
since he's coming back. So I think the injury really was affecting him. So I think he's back.
he's been hitting
Exactly.
like 417
He's been
since he
healthy.
came back up.
He's been healthy, and being healthy is important. We all know that. So.
And wear knee-high boots in the shower.
Exactly. All right. So Ben,
Yep.
give us your favorite guy.
I'm going to go back to an old favorite of ours, and I got to bring up Gregor Blanco. He's been getting a lot more regular playing time, and Alex Pavlovic just says he just makes things happen, and I think that's been really accurate. I think that Andrew Baggerly pointed out his favorite Blanco moment recently was really the heads-up running.
When he stopped at second base.
When he
fantastic.
instead of just running into Kinsler's tag, he stopped, skidded, tried to get started as if he was starting to get back, and Kinsler's totally flummoxed. He tries to throw back to first like he thinks he's going to get some kind of pickle out of it, and completely throws it away. Throws off the wrong foot. Just everything. It just does not do anything right in that moment. One of the few missteps we've seen, but I wouldn't even call that a Rangers misstep so much as just being surprised that Gregor Blanco goes, hey, hold up, let me just, surprise, I'm going to go the other way. And I mean, streaking in from left field to try and double Napoli off of third. I mean,
Yeah, that was a nice little league play in a good way. You don't see that in the pros often.
Blanco is like all the things that we say about him being like Andres Torres, they've really been accurate, and yet there's something extra. Torres in 2010 was that guy who was very reliable. He was an excellent leadoff guy, but Blanco also is the guy that just makes things happen. He can read a game, he can fit him. He kind of has a better idea of where to fit himself, and just there are things to like about Blanco right now that are comparable or better than Torres in 2010. And Torres was one of my favorite players that year. So it's been really interesting to see not only that injection of speed that he provides, but also just some of the little things that he's doing, and how pretty much it seems like every other time you see something pop up about the Giants scoring a run, Blanco's name is involved somewhere. So I got to go with him. I do want to throw in, though, I'll throw in an honorable mention. The Stony Brook Seawolves, the only unseeded team that made it to the Super Regionals this year in the NCAA, actually offed LSU today in a 7-2 win, I think.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. They get to be the underdog, sort of the Cinderella story this year. So I'm hoping that they have big things coming. But if nothing else, they've been fun to watch. They had 7 people drafted this year in the MLB draft, which is huge, including a complimentary round pick for I completely just Travis Janikowski, their center fielder, who is a very good player. Janikowski, not Sebastian Janikowski, Travis Janikowski. I thought that too, but I don't know how well he kicks.
Far though, either way. I mean, he can probably pound beers too. So
very well, possibly. But I'm excited to see him. I want to see him when he gets to the bigs. But for now, it's been fun to watch Stony Brook play. So honorable mention to them as favorite guys.
All right,
love a good Cinderella story.
I'm just quickly. I mean, I know we like to hate on people, but we don't have a lot of time left. So we're gonna hate on Josh Hamilton. We're going to hate on All-Star Game PR people.
Okay, I only say this because you look at the ballot in MLB.com for SFGiants.com, and they list all of the Giants there, including Freddie Sanchez for second base.
Exactly, right?
I mean, come on, stop it.
I'm not saying anyone will vote for Ryan Theriot, but, pay some attention.
Yeah, it's just, we're not all idiots.
Come on. Right? Yeah, and we're going to hate on Craig Gentry because, come on. What's
He's a hit machine.
5 for 5? Come on. What's up?
He goes 5 for 5 here when hasn't been starting a lot, and he pitched in relief in Oakland. Yeah. Who does that?
It's stupid. It
was a blowout, and they put in Craig Gentry.
Yeah,
he's never pitched.
So Chad, why are we going to win it all?
So we talked about this earlier. If Lincecum doesn't pitch anymore, because they are 32-16 if you remove his games. Mm-hmm. So if they played 6-6-7 ball the rest of the way, guarantee you they're going to win it all.
All right.
2 out of 3 the rest of the year. There you go.
I'm going to say we're going to win it all because of 4 simple words. And I'm going to remove the 5th word.
I was like, I think there's 5 there.
4 simple words. Vogelsong, Zito, Kane, Bumgarner. And there you go. So there you go. That's why we're going to win it all. You guys should also follow us on Twitter, and you can follow us. We are at ChadK21. That's Chad. We are at Fried Duck. That's Ben. We are at Willie Dills. That's me, Willie Dills. You can also follow us as a group on TortureCast, which is at TortureCast. And go to torturecast.com.
May or may not start an ad Drunken Willie Dills.
Yeah, at Drunken Willie Dills. Yeah, sure. Follow us. We're at TortureCast. You can also go to torturecast.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us all over the place. Also, hey, wait a minute. Go to torturecast.com. There's actually a link to contribute if you want to give us money, because I don't know why you'd want to do that, but maybe you do. But you can do that. You can donate to our cause, because it does cost money for us to have our website and stuff. So it'd be great if somebody could help us out. And I'm wasted, so you should come out and buy me a drink sometime.
There you go.
And that would be fun.
I'll take one too, if anyone's buying.
Me and Chad will be...
we'll give you credit on the ad Drunken Dills account and everything.
That's right. Me and Chad will be in Utah in 2 weeks, but next week we'll be back with more TortureCast. Hopefully the Giants have been winning. And I also want to encourage everybody, go check out Giants Pod. Those guys are a fantastic podcast. 2 guys... what is it? 2 guys, a glove
and a Coke bottle.
And a Coke bottle. Love them. They're fantastic guys. All right, that's going to do it for me, for Chad King, for Ben Lee. We'll see you next time. Boom! A big thank you to everybody for listening to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at torturecast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills, saying we'll see you next time.